Look at the state of them.
I was going to ask about those. What the fuck is going on?
Just look like an idiotic farmer.
Are those not chopses? They look
No,
like...
they're not. They're not for women. No, they're not for women. Thanks for asking.
Quite defensive there when I raised them.
They're not for women.
Dulcis sells men's stuff as well.
Definitely not lady boots. Definitely not lady boots.
Lady boots has got
But you
those
know what?
lady boots.
Kind of in the mood today where I actually would just wear lady boots. I don't give a toss.
Right, so I asked some people, I asked people on the internet to send us some questions.
Well, I haven't looked yet.
There's loads.
Is there?
Yeah, I'm just going to start from the beginning. Blair Henderson says, best hot hatch on sale that you would actually buy with your own money.
Oh, well, that's hardcore when you're talking about real money.
I know. I can tell you the one that I've most recently considered genuinely putting my own money down on, Up GTI.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best hot hatch.
Is it a hot hatch or is it's warm? I did nearly buy one.
Mild.
Because not the revised one that's just coming out now,
which has sneakily gone up in price loads
by about £3,000
for reasons that are apparently related to
it was too
fines it incurs for emissions.
Yeah, it was too cheap before to the point where you almost smelt a rat. And I actually phoned VW up and went, "Is this really the price?"
Is this a
and they kind of went, "Yes." They went, "Does it come with a full warranty?" And they went, "Yes." And I went, "Ooh."
Why are we both speaking like this?
Yes.
I've just spotted over there, driving out with this services, and our bath.
Oh, 595.
595. Now, they're not very good, but they are really good fun.
I think I could see myself owning one more than a Mini Cooper S, despite the fact that the Cooper S is probably
It's a much better car.
It's a better developed car.
Yeah. It's funny that, isn't it?
But our bath is a rough little thing.
Yeah.
And exhaust notes just...
Apparently they're for now as well. If you want a PCP one,
it's
like 100 and something quid a month.
Really?
Well, 199, something like that. But you know,
it's a sensible question.
For an amusing car. I don't know. I haven't driven everything. I'm trying to think.
Golf R is a car I like driving, but I don't want to own one. And everyone that's bought one that has said they're amazing. I just can't really afford the fuel.
Oh, really?
And I know 2 people who have had an R and gone back to a GTI.
Huh.
As a daily car, though.
Yeah.
That's a daily use.
You can't go wrong with a Golf GTI, though, can you? They're
brilliant.
Really good.
They're brilliant. They're 5-door only now, which upsets me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not too bothered about it. Okay, so, best
hot
with your own money.
Best modern hot hatch in the world ever, R26R Megane.
Would you spend your own money on one, though?
Yeah.
If you needed it to do...
Well, to drive every day, but with plastic windows. And
the first time I drove one of those, I was getting in it. Oh, look, there's a Fiesta ST. Look, I'd have one of those. They're good. That's a good car.
Can you say its full name in the proper dialect, please?
Sorry. Forward. Fiesta.
It's full Fiesta ST, isn't it? Is it mount tuned?
He's got flaps.
He's got rally flaps.
Rally flaps, nice.
I bet that's mount tuned up to the eyeballs.
That's running a naughty ECU. There we go. There's loads. I can't think of a really bad hot hatch at the moment. They're all quite good, aren't they? So that's a really conclusive answer. But my own money,
it is a
Fiesta, Up GTI if I wanted a warm hatch, and very small for the city.
Yeah.
Or just to get a Golf GTI. Thomas Harrison Lord says, hello there, may I ask what Richard Porter is working on right now? Another Sniff Petrol F1 season guide? I am, but honestly I'm losing patience with it. I'm just not that interested in F1 anymore. I think I've realised. Not so interested.
That's the book.
What?
I'm sorry, but I'm not that interested.
No, I'll just make it. Why. Yeah, it's honestly, it's a real struggle. I'm thinking of just jacking it in because I can't be arsed. It's like. Secondly or thirdly, is Johnny Smith swimming in YouTube money yet?
No.
No one is anymore, are they?
I think you've got to consistently get 1 million plus hits for every video, and then you can call it a living. My first video did. So,
you're on the way.
It's funny you should mention it because I'm actually looking for some sponsorship on there.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Legit.
Yeah, cool. Pal Alkan, I think it's Pal, as in Pal of Aha. What is your all-time most embarrassing car story?
Wow, there's a few. Most embarrassing cars, as in the car's really embarrassing, or embarrassing with a car?
I suppose embarrassing with a car.
I can't say this on video.
Oh.
Because
See,
it involves
I
me
mean-
being 17 and my parents will watch the video. I'll
Okay.
whisper it in your ear though.
What, and then I'll interpret it in mime.
Well, I can't remember the name of when you you're 17 and you get your thingy license, but you haven't
Provisional.
got provisional.
Oh, that's all right. That's legal. That's legal. You've told me this story before.
Yeah, that one.
And you did that.
Yeah, that's quite embarrassing because I still to this day don't know whether it was seen.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah,
And
okay.
there are other embarrassing. Oh, I didn't do my wife's front wheel nut up properly once, and we had a newborn baby in the car, and the front wheel fell off the car.
holy shit.
Yeah, that was. it
Which
wasn't-
car?
Nissan Cube. Had to have the whole. Had to have a new strut, brake system, and a new wing and a new bumper, body coloured painted. So it cost me a lot of money,
Yeah. Ouch.
and I blame it on lack of sleep because baby.
Yeah, fair enough. Most embarrassing for me, I don't know. Still quite embarrassing that I binned an Audi TT back when they were brand new. It was one of the first ones in the country,
How?
and I rolled it twice.
You rolled it? I don't remember.
Well, I told you the story.
No.
Well, I've written about this a bit because I'm just sort of I'm owning my own embarrassment. Yeah, when they were brand new, and we had one delivered to the old Top Gear office where I was working at the time, and I was quite new there. And the producer had booked it in, but he wasn't there at the end of the day. So I rang him and went, "Can I take that?" And he went, "Yeah, just bring it back in the morning. I'm going away with my girlfriend for the weekend."
Oh.
Went home. My housemates came out and looked at it because they were amazing back then. 99 was that or 2000?
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, so
Amazing things. Everyone looked at it, and one of my housemates who's really into his cars went, "Can we go for a little spin in it?" And I went, "Yeah, of course. No worries. Let's go." Went off, and I just been saying, you see, it's four-wheel drive, so it's got loads of grip. As we went around a massive roundabout, lost the back end. It skipped over a little rut in the road. Span. It's a big roundabout there with a motorway bridge over it. Span into the curb, over twice.
Oh my gosh.
Back on its wheels.
Ruined.
Oh,
Did
very
it still
ruined.
run?
No, because I think as it had gone over the curb, it had skimmed the sump off because there was a lot of oil on the grass.
Oh.
And a lot of steam and a bit of blood from my mate. Gashed his arm open on the interior, and he'd headbutted me in the face as we rolled over, and it was all very embarrassing. My career flashed before my eyes. As a result of me doing that, everybody who worked on Top Gear at that point was made to go on a high performance driving course. Well, not high performance, like a sort of
Well, just
one
so
of those
that there weren't any more embarrassing.
advanced driving courses. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it was a good idea. It was quite good fun to do.
I crashed my first car when I wasn't even in it. That was embarrassing. I was undersealing it over my mate's dad's garage pit, and obviously the handbrake was off it. And as I was undersealing, I would pulled the car back just a little bit. And I remember his dad's workshop was awesome because it had a TV in it. His dad spent a lot of time in the workshop, and X-Files was on, and I was sort of watching Gillian Anderson a bit, and undersealing, and watching Gillian Anderson a bit, and I pulled the car just a little bit too far, and the garage said, "Hey, there's such a slight." Run, and it started running back, and I went to grab the front axle, and it's like, no. And by the time I got out the pit, it went out the garage and down the drive, and it was a long drive, and went straight into my mate's car, and it smashed the boot lid in on my Beetle, which was a 1 year only panel, and it cost me about half a year's worth of my Saturday job to find another one and have it paint matched. I actually cried that day. I drove home crying. Yeah, so I tried to rust proof the car and then damaged it in the process like a complete dingaloid.
I can't think of any more embarrassments. I've never done that.
I've crashed a few, but you know, like you, it's the talk of shame afterwards.
Yeah.
Having to talk to the manufacturer.
Yeah, I've knocked again, one of the first in the country, because the TT was one of the first in the country, and then you remember the booty-backed Megane.
Oh yeah, I love the
We
bum
had
back.
one of the first of those in the country, the first right-hand drive one, I think it was, in the country. Because we were going to crash one on Top Gear.
Oh, what pre-prod one or?
Yeah, they said we'd have a pre-prod one to crash.
Because it was a 5-star.
Yeah, it was all that. Though, funnily enough, we went, can we crash one? They went, well, yeah, because we're very proud of the safety of it. We went, no, we genuinely want a stuntman to drive it to the side of another car. And then they suddenly went, no, we'd rather you didn't do that. Because there are so many variables in an accident, they can't be certain that the guy won't be injured.
Yeah.
And in the end, I think we had to buy the car, and then they had to pretend they didn't know what we were doing.
My
Anyway,
God.
before that, they just lent us one,
And you crashed it.
to have a go in it. No, I just clipped a skip and knocked the door mirror off. But it was like the day before we filmed it. So
Tiff Nadell reversed into a skip on a 5th gear job. And he never crashes anything, and
No.
even doing 150 miles an hour. But he reversed, I think it was a new R35 Skyline when that had first come out, the GTR. I think he reversed at speed, and the back window was maybe slightly frosted up,
yeah,
and he just went straight into a skip.
high speed.
It was either a Nissan GTR or a very, the space age Civic, the best shaped Civic.
Yeah.
Sort of 2011 time,
Yeah.
would it have been? It was either one of them or a Nissan GTR. That's not my embarrassing story.
When we filmed the GTR in Japan for Top Gear, we were so early in that car's life that we had I can't remember his name. The guy, Mr. GTR.
Oh,
It was his something San. It was his personal car that they lent us.
Nakashima? No.
I don't know, but
I've met him. Yeah.
He got like a sort of pre-prod car as his personal car, and it was lent to us. And they were just rigging it to start filming, and one of our team reversed a crew van into it.
Oh man!
But this guy, he was quite well known for being a little bit accident prone at the wheel. He also used to live in Japan, so he was well aware of Japanese etiquette and politeness, and so he wrote the most grovelly letter you've ever seen to Mr. GTR, apologising. You couldn't see it on camera; it was just a bit of a scuff.
Okay.
But the fact is, he'd scuffed
He'd done
Mr. GTR's baby. Need a family car and something a bit interesting and quick. Currently thinking of Porsche Cayenne / Leon Cooper Estate. Budget no more than 15k. That's from Z Zone.
15 grand.
Cayenne.
Audi S8. You get a lot of S8. I was looking at it the other day.
I'm not sure I'd go near a 15k Cayenne, would you?
Phaeton for 15 grand.
Well, 15k Phaeton. I mean,
You get like a 3,000 miles from new one.
I feel like he needs something a bit more booty though, because he's going Cayenne or Leon Cupra. Those Leon Cupras are alright.
Leon Coopers are good. Golf R Estate.
Golf R Estate.
I don't know if they're down to 15. Probably not yet.
I don't know. What about some old? I mean, again, I'm saying don't get a Cayenne because I'm thinking that would cost a lot to run.
X5 is I don't know, it's not as fast unless you get the 4.4 petrol.
Like a bit of a prick as well. I was going to say RS6, like an old RS6, but that's not going to be a cheap car to run.
No.
But, or an S4, RS4.
How much are C63 AMGs now? Estates? Because obviously you've driven all the gens and I've driven them. That gen of like the mid 2000s,
Yes.
2007, 2008,
Yeah,
2009 was a great car. And you could get the 500 horse edition.
Yes. Was it called 501 or 503 or something?
That one.
503.
I always wanted that car. I thought that was a good car to buy.
I saw an old E-Class coupe with faux 507 stickers at the side just this morning.
Did you?
Because I went, I don't remember them making one. No, they didn't, did they? Some dicks just put those on. It didn't look right. That's a good call. C63 Estate.
I think you could get one for 15.
I think so.
I don't want to start smashing out Auto Trade now, but
No, because we'll just go down a wormhole from which we will never escape. Carl Barton says, top 5 people you admire and what cars do you wish they drove? Oh my God.
top 5 people that I admire.
And what cars do you wish they drove? I don't know.
Well, I tell you one person, and
That's a
they're
hard
not
question.
exactly, they're not life changing. I've got a bit of a man crush on him. It's Greg James from Radio 1.
Have you?
And the reason why is because I think he's got such a good moral compass between being genuinely funny, not being too sweary, understanding current affairs and the youth, being charitable, and I think he's just a cool individual.
Have you met him?
I've met him once.
I met him once.
Weirdly, he was taking selfies of, I think, pretending to have sex with a statue in a stately home garden.
I had a conversation with him about the joys of a sit-down wee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'd had a drink.
Of course you had.
But, yeah, very nice guy.
Really
What
good
do we
guy.
think?
And
All
he
right,
got
what
married.
car?
He got married in a cool car.
Did he?
But I don't know what his everyday car is.
What did he get married in?
Got married in Nigel Mansell's old Mercedes SEC,
Did he?
which he borrowed off of Mercedes.
Interesting.
That was his wedding car. And
I
I'm
never
like,
knew that.
if I
Wow.
didn't, if I wanted to think he was any cooler,
Yeah. And it's gold, isn't it, as well?
oh,
Wedding gold. What car do you wish they drove? I don't know. Greg James. I admire. Yeah, you're right. I quite admire Greg James, I suppose.
I mean, he's not. When he did that triathlon ridiculous thing. Didn't he do a triathlon every day for a month? Or
Oh,
so?
maybe. Something
I mean,
like
it was
that,
it was a huge undertaking, including open water swimming. And but there's a lot of people I admire, but they're mostly people that I admire from, I guess, making the world better rather than designing cool cars. I mean, Gordon Murray. I was talking to someone about Gordon Murray this morning. We all universally agreed he's a very cool individual, even if you don't care about Formula One, even if you don't care about the designs of cars he came up with. He's still a really nice bloke, and he seems to
Yeah.
have time for everybody.
Yeah,
Which I
yeah,
like.
yeah. No, he's
Also, shirts and hair.
shirts and hair.
Yeah.
I've been to his house. Weirdly, to interview him. He's got a lovely house.
Apparently, he's got a cool house.
He's got this really cool sitting room area that's sort of circular, and he showed me, and it's got wood sort of buttresses going up to the ceiling. But he then showed me that he'd had like little LED downlighters put in each one, and it took him ages to find ones that were small enough and gave enough output. And so it's like you just go, yeah. RG Cargy.
I can see what he's
Working
doing.
for magazines like Max Power must have been a lot of fun. What's your funniest car journo story?
Oh my gosh.
Bloody hell! You could do a whole 2-hour show just
I mean,
on that.
like, where
surely.
where do you begin
I'll
there?
pick one good one.
Car journalist story.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you one that I really like, just because it speaks of the sort of the fetid end of car journalism. Is and this isn't even my story. This was told to me by another journo. Just after sort of flat screen tellies became a thing, there was a press junket somewhere, and they put into a swanky hotel. And being a swanky hotel, they started putting flat screen TVs in all the rooms, and they told one of the old farty entitled journalists that the flat screen telly was the free gift from the manufacturer, and he was busted leaving the hotel with it under his arm.
No way. Shit. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I remember getting a plate on the Mondeo launch.
Yeah, I've still got that plate.
Have you? It's a massive plate. It's
Yeah.
like that big. I couldn't fit it in a bag.
No,
So I
well,
just got on a plane with it under my arm.
yes, that's like when I went to. They did a thing where they revealed the first aluminium Jag XK,
Yeah.
the first one that Ian Callum designed. They did a thing, a hotel in Hertfordshire, showing off the car to
I
journalists.
think I was there.
Were you? It's that hotel that I met you at the other week, where you were having a meeting. That big place.
Yeah, I think
And-
I was there.
Were you?
Yeah. Did they get one indoors and outdoors?
I think they only had one car.
I was there.
It was so early.
Maybe I'm thinking of the first XF. They had one in a room, which,
Oh yes, that.
and
yeah.
then there was one out that
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
driving in. Okay.
The XK one, I think they only had one car because basically it drove across the grounds. There was like we all had to go and stand outside, and then it drove across, and then we were invited back inside, and then we were invited to go and step out into a courtyard, and there was the same car, and they'd driven it onto a turntable. It was in the middle of a courtyard going around. It was definitely the same car because it was warm. It was still ticking.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and I was like, I know what you're up to here.
Brilliant.
This is like that chocolate biscuit episode of Bagpuss. You're just bringing it around the back. But it was like, and they said, come to the hotel and have dinner, and you can stay over in the hotel, which is unnecessary because it's only like,
You're supposed to be
Up
there
the
for an
road.
hour, and you ended up getting
Yeah,
battered
got
and
battered.
had an 8-course dinner.
yeah. And the next morning, but they went to my room, and there was a signed and framed Ian Callum design sketch of the new car, and framed like that, but a lovely sketch. And I only had a small overnight bag, and it wouldn't fit in that, so I had to sort of cram it in. It's poking out. But as I walked through reception, it just looked like I was stealing a picture from the hotel because you could see the cord on the back and everything. So,
It's just like you hooked
but that
it.
was a blag. It wasn't like I'd been tricked into taking it. So,
Have we
yeah.
answered this question?
well, funniest car journey story. That's not. I don't know. We could do a whole.
Oh man, we've got a lot.
Should we move on to Lee Smith's question, which is tell us about your most satisfying poop ever?
Well, I mean that's a little bit unsavoury. I actually do know of mine. It was
Really?
on my honeymoon. it was.
Well, everyone remembers their honeymoon, don't they?
And unfortunately, and
necessarily
I
for that.
still don't really know why I did it. It's slightly embarrassingly, it's in all of the digital pictures of like
What,
our
you having a
honeymoon.
shit?
So at one time I accidentally put a slideshow on of our honeymoon, and one of the pictures is with an absolutely gigantic coil in the toilet, which
You
was,
took a picture of a big shit.
because it was just so impressive. I was like, I've got to get a picture. So I took my. I know my wife still is quite offended by it. I kind of.
I'm sorry. You sometimes put on a loop of all the pictures of your romantic honeymoon, and and up comes a picture of a huge.
One of them's a poo in Arizona. Yeah.
What? Oh my god. I have just remembered.
The lead up to my honeymoon was very stressful with
Right.
work and everything.
And very fibrous.
I think I don't. It was a perfect storm for film.
Yeah, it's often the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've just remembered. I wasn't going to engage with this one, but I went to the Frankfurt Motor Show a few years ago, and I went out. That's it. I've been to the show. Long day, quite
Carb
tired.
heavy event.
Carb heavy event. Eaten quite a lot. Been out for a big dinner, I think, in the evening, and also, let's be honest, had quite a lot to drink. And I got up in the morning feeling a bit ropey.
Yep.
And I had some coffee. And had a bit of breakfast.
Oh, then the cauldron starts churning.
Yeah, and I went back to the show.
Yeah.
I just thought the thing that will get me back on the path to recovery here is a hangover poo.
Yeah.
I'm in a public space, a very large multi-hall exhibition centre.
Yeah. Got to find a good pan.
This is going to be a tough one. I went upstairs into this sort of lesser used bit, and I found it was like a dream. I opened the door, and there was just this enormous loo, like as in
one loo.
No, cubicles stretching away as far as the eye could see, but all the doors were open. There wasn't a soul in there,
Oh, amazing.
and it was also, because we're in Germany, pristinely clean.
Oh, virgin pan.
And I
Brilliant.
thought, this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
And I was able to take care of the necessary. Felt a lot better and not disturbed once, which is a nice thing.
That never happens.
And I do remember it. I remember just thinking, this is going to be a good day. I'm up on the deal here. This rarely happens.
That reset you, didn't it?
I certainly did. Just went straight downstairs with a glass of wine.
Next
Coca
question.
2121 says, what's Johnny's favourite tropical fish?
Oh, well, if you're talking tropical freshwater, it's a dwarf pygmy puffer fish, which is, most puffer fishes are brackish or saltwater, but this is a freshwater. I'm a big fan of a very charismatic fish, and I think even in adulthood they don't reach an inch.
A fish charismatic?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially puffer fish, you can hand feed them. They're really brilliant. And then my favourite sea fish, as in a marine. You didn't expect this to be going so in depth so quick.
No, I did, because I know that you like tropical fish.
I'm going to look up. It's got to be a longhorn cowfish, because it's the most crazy. I mean, I will find its. I'll find its Latin, because I just want to be totally correct. It's something canuta.
I'm just going to do a really quick one here. There's a guy, insert witty name.
Lactoria canuta. That's its scientific name, and it's a yellow longhorn cowfish.
Oh,
it's one of
right.
them.
Cool.
It's one of the strangest fish, and it's got an exoskeleton.
Oh,
So it's a very odd fish. It's not soft.
Interesting.
It's hard. You can tap it. It's hard. Don't tap
tapping
it.
fish.
Because
Please don't tap on the
they can
glass
give
or
out
on the
they can
fish.
give out naughty gas or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Insert witty name says, looking at buying a new car, it's between the Mercedes AMG GTS or the Porsche 911 991 Generation 1 GTS rear-wheel drive with PDK.
Oh wow.
I live in Scotland. It will be a second car. I've driven them both. I'm swaying more towards the 911, but love the noise of the AMG. What's your thoughts?
Second car. Okay. Scotland second car.
Yeah.
Is that a new E-Class 63?
No, AMG GT.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry, AMG GT. Oh,
Now, the problem with that is it's wide. And if you're on narrow Scottish roads, that won't be much fun.
You say 997 Gen 1?
No, 991, which is wider than
that's-
997.
that's
but it's not.
wide.
I mean, it's not as. I don't think it's as wide as a GT though. GT's very wide, isn't it? I'd just go 911 because I think the noise of the AMG is fun.
It's a good car, man.
It's the GTR. I was really blown away by how good that was, because I thought it was way better than the others.
It was, wasn't it? Especially the steering and the suspension.
Yeah. I mean,
was
it's
just
just
like-
astonishing. But
In fact, I still keep coming back to that car, wanting another go. The GTR.
Yeah, I saw somebody on Instagram put a picture of the Roadster one they just had a go, and I was like, ooh, No, interesting.
I think we need to
we
make
should
a
ask
call,
nicely
Rich.
if we could borrow one.
Yeah, I'd love a go.
But I think that's the thing. The 911's got more depth. I think the AMG GTS is a bit sort of noise, and the rest follows on. And the 911, you will be rewarded for years to come with its talent.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because the GTS the AMG will be more exclusive and more unusual. You know, you turn up to a car meet and you will see a lot of 911s.
True,
And you won't see so many AMG GT.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're both really good, but in a different way. You don't have a back seat on a, or do you, on an AMG GT?
No, I don't think so.
It's a two-seater, isn't it?
Two-seater.
So you've got to bear that in mind if you care about that.
Second car though, so maybe not.
Second car, so who gives a toss? If you were Prime Minister, what car would you choose to be the official Prime Ministerial motor?
Ooh.
This is from Mr. Chris on
Well,
Twitter.
they're still at the moment using Jag XJs, aren't they? The latest shape.
Yeah. Theresa May
think-
certainly was.
I'm pretty cool with that. Because you see, I'd love to say, oh, well, you know what? I'd immediately, my first act as Prime Minister, would go out and find me the tidiest XJR of the X308 shape like I used to have
And just
from
roll-
the early 2000s.
and
I
just
want
roll
that.
it.
But then the thing is, what image are you projecting of Britain? It's bad enough that we look a bit backward looking at the moment. I think, you know, you're just looking
You've
like
gotta
you've
go
got no
forward.
sense of the future. And those more recent XJs look futuristic. I'd go I-Pace, actually.
I was just about to say, what, slightly stretched rear door?
Yes.
Go for a
stretched I-Pace.
Go for a Minster edition, Coleman Mill Minster, which had, what, 6 inches in the back door? And you, at a flash, you go, it's the same. You go,
Yeah.
well, it's not, though.
No, it's not. But mind you, the legroom in the back of an I-Pace is pretty good as it is. I mean,
Yeah.
Prince Charles is rocking one, isn't he? And
Charlie knows what he's doing. Does he?
I don't know. Not sure.
All right, vehicle-wise, Charlie
Vehicle-wise,
knows
well,
what
that's the thing,
he's
because he's quite ecologically minded, isn't he? So he's trying to do
Yeah.
his bit for certainly localised pollution with his I-Pace. But also, I noticed he let Kate Middleton rock around in it the other day.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well,
Being a nice
Kate Middleton's
father-in-law.
She's, you know,
Take my Jack.
she's a good lady.
Lovely hair.
Well, just lovely. I mean,
What would you
my
do?
wife fancies her. With your
Right.
industry knowledge, is there any way to purchase and road legalise pre-production cars? Because it's a shame that they're scrapped and it's an ecological nightmare. Well,
No, no, there isn't, because two things. If it's a proper prototype, the accounted on-book value for one of those is
Millions.
because they're handmade,
yeah,
and they can claim the VAT back
yeah.
in the UK, and I guess this applies across Europe and other places. You can claim the tax back on it, which, you know, this country's 20%, so it's 20% of £1 million. That's a lot of money that you would be giving up if
And
you kept it, which they do sometimes. I know they give
Yeah.
prototypes to museums and things, but the other reason is that they're pre-production components. They can't allow them out into the natural, into the real world, because then somebody might, you go, do you want to buy a suspension wishbone for a Range Rover? Where have you got it from? Don't worry about it.
Well,
It's off that
and
pre-prod I bought.
this is like supermarkets throwing away lots of food.
Yeah,
You know,
they
like-
don't want the liability.
Yeah, and like homeless people who scavenge through the bins can potentially sue Morrison's
Yeah.
for a dodgy iced
Well-
bun, and I just think, what?
I know, but that I find morally dubious. I
It's
wish
horrible.
they would, and I know some places do
Yeah.
actively try to give the food away. But the thing with, I don't want to be on the motorway alongside somebody who's got a pre-production suspension part in their car they bought from a man in a pub that's about to give way,
Yeah.
causing them to barrel roll into my family car. So I can see why they get junked. I think it's for a very sensible
But it is a
reason.
real shame. I've had to witness nice cars being junked, and
you-
all the components have to.
Yeah, that's it.
So
They can't
because a
allow
friend of mine
anything.
was like, "Can I take the front seats?" Like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
It's all got to be killed.
There's that scrapyard. I don't know if they still do it. There's a scrapyard near Stratford upon Avon that used to do all Rover and Jaguar stuff.
Oh.
And they'd have like what looked like a brand new Range Rover, and it'd be going into a machine that did bad things to it, and it would come out as a cube, and they had to do it.
Have you ever had to say sorry to a manufacturer on returning one of their cars?
Well, that Audi TT I wrote off, there was a lot of sorry there. I mean, there was a
gonna say-
great deal of sorry there. There might even have been an apologetic letter or card. I can't remember now.
The Dodge Viper SRT10, which I spectacularly wrote off.
Now,
Yeah.
remind me of this story. You were at Bruntingthorpe Proving Ground, is that right?
What, with the Dodge?
Yeah.
No, I was driving to Tesco to get a prawn sandwich.
Oh, right.
I think it was 2004.
Yeah.
And SRT10 had just come out. It might be an 05. There was the only one in the country. It was black, and
Yep.
it was barely delivery mileage. It might have had 300 miles on the clock. And
Conditions are perfect
And
for
I'm-
an embarrassing press car
And I
accident.
always wanted to drive one. And my editor at the time on car, Jason Barlow,
Yep.
said, I said, can I take that one out and do the lunch run? He went, yeah, but Johnny, listen, it's an absolute animal of a
Again,
horrible.
this is just...
And I was like,
this is the
I have
setup.
heard.
The accident is now inevitable.
I've heard all the stories, so I was like, okay. And a designer on the mag ran shotgun with me, left-hand drive car. Yeah. And it was wet, and I'd heard all the stories, and I wasn't dicking around, I promise. But I came off a roundabout in second gear, straightened it up, I remember half throttle onto a dual carriageway, shifted into third, and when I came off the clutch and back onto the throttle, I just remember the revs really racing unnecessarily. My brain was working slower than the car, and I was like, oh, that must mean that, yes. It just went, woo, yeah, and it did that whole thing of like just going towards a central reservation, and I just overcorrected it. And went down the road, and I overcorrected it twice or three times, and we went down the road backwards for long enough for me to dip the clutch. I remember this. I dipped the clutch and I looked at Matt, the designer, a good friend of mine, and I went, we are going to have a crash and we're probably going to go into those woods. And I remember that.
You
I remember
get out like... I mean, basically...
Oh, I remember it like... I remember
a paragraph of exposition.
I remember that moment, that skidding backwards, dipping the clutch and going, and basically doing the whole like, yeah, we're going to go, yeah.
Yeah. Is that like when my mate Neil was in the car with his then girlfriend and her Golf, and they got that classic truck pulled out, and then they were stuck on the front of the lorry driving along.
They got stuck on.
Yeah.
Oh my
and
God.
he was going, because it went on for so long.
Was he there for about a
yeah,
minute?
Yeah. Oh, longer. He
What?
said they had time to go, what do we do? I don't know. This is terrible. What are we doing? It's like,
Seriously?
how can you have a conversation in the middle of an accident? Well,
And you're right on the cowcatcher of
yeah,
a.
he said there was a massive, great Scania batch there. It's
Oh my
horrible.
gosh!
They're okay. Car was a bit broken.
What was the question, Rich? I don't know. What was the question? I can't remember.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Fluid egg.
Oh, do you ever have to apologise?
Oh, yeah.
And yes.
Okay.
So we've both written off cars.
Well, I was
Apologised.
blanked by Chrysler UK for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Youch.
Yeah. It was bad. It was bad.
And then, have I ever apologised? Oh, yeah, I had to apologise. Oh, God, yes. Just remembered this one. This is a pathetic accident. We were filming Top Gear, and Jeremy Clarkson off the telly had an Audi A4 all-road
Yeah.
with a cream leather interior.
Prince Charles' favourite.
Yeah,
As
it
was.
was actually a really shit car. Incredibly laggy. Autobox plus twin turbo, I think, diesel V6.
Yeah.
Very laggy. Lot of lag. Not
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Jeremy was going, oh, right over here, you, because we were filming that electric car that we made. Remember the iEagle Hammer?
Yes. Yes.
We
Yeah.
were filming that in Oxfordshire. And for some reason, Jeremy said, oh, you take my press car and you can follow on. And so I had it sort of most of the day, and I was jumping in and out of it. At one point, I had a script and a pen, and we were moving on from a location. We were running behind, so it was all a bit urgent. I was like, right, I'm going to go back to my car. I'll see you at the next location. And I shoved the script and the pen in my back pocket. It was just a normal biro, and the biro split.
Oh.
And when I got out, black ink all over the cream leather.
It was cream leather.
And so I had to then get a spare script and cover the seat, just so that, because then I had to go and do something else. I was going to talk to the presenters about something, and someone else went, I'll go and move your car. And I was like, be careful, the seat's covered in black ink. And my jeans, I had to throw my jeans away. Black ink all over
Jeans
the
were
back.
the cheaper part of it. Were you wearing the
Yeah.
white jeans that you
I
always
was wearing
wear?
my signature white jeans in those days, and the car had to go back to Audi. And Jeremy's wife at the time used to book the cars in for him,
Yeah.
and I think I rang her and went, I'm going to apologise to Audi, and she went, yes, I think you probably should. Like, Jeremy's ex-wife, very lovely woman, but you wouldn't mess with her. She went, I think you probably should. So I rang Audi, and I went, I'm so sorry. They went, it's okay. I mean, obviously it was a little bit of an inconvenience for us, because that car, in fact, was going to a conference or something. So it was going on display.
Did it need a new seat?
We had to get a seat out of a brand new car that we got in the compound. We had to find one, I think, in a dealer compound had the matching interior.
And just
Get
remove
a
it.
brand new seat out of that. So of course that's a car that can't be sold till the new seat for that arrives back. So yes, it was a little bit inconvenient. Well, basically, it was massively fucking inconvenient for them. But again, it was a genuine accident, and it was a moment of bizarre, a bit fuckwitted, but not the most fuckwitted thing I've ever done by a long way. But yes, that's funny. I've actually really, really inconvenienced Audi UK twice in my career, at least. More than that, actually, because they've had me along on the events where it's obviously an inconvenience for me to be there. But they're quite nice people, so yeah. Apologies. There's probably loads more. I feel like there's loads more. Certainly, in a professional capacity as part of the Top Gear team. There was the time I rang Porsche and I said, "Can we borrow a bog standard 911 just for some static stuff?" And they went, "We've only got one on the fleet and it's in the workshop at the moment." I was like, "Oh no, why?" That's punched a piston through the side of the block. I was like, "Oh, that's not very good. What happened?" "Well, some idiots drove it on a beach and it got sand in the engine." That was us. That was the last time we borrowed
sand in the engine.
Apparently, yeah, it caused.
It's not good, is it? Sand and engines, they don't like one another.
They really don't like one another. Philip Rombouts.
What?
Philip Rombouts. I thought you said Flip, which is, if anything, a better name.
Are these all fake
I
names?
don't know. Well, Thomas and Harrison Lord, isn't it, I think?
Philip Rombouts?
Philip Rombouts, but Philip with an F. Why do you only have 13,000 subscribers? I don't know. Because we're a bit weird. Fifth gear outer here. Sorry, were you going to...
We get a lot of people saying, why have we got such a low subscriber base?
I
Now,
know.
on the one hand, I could say it's because we're not massively interesting.
Yeah.
On the other hand, what I would say is it's a very... Smith and Stiff's quite difficult to explain to people. To watch, to explain to people. Like, if in like one sentence, what is it? And I always go, well, we review a car once a month, and then we make 3 other videos, which we put out every week, which are chats that go off here, there, and everywhere. Do
you want to hear a story about a man who ruined some linen trousers by drinking a bottle of Captain Morgan spiced rum and then shitting himself in a club in the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. You should subscribe, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to hear about the Mercedes long wheelbase Mercedes 500 SEL that I nearly bought, but I was too card up at the time, so a friend of mine bought it on my recommendation, who's now quite a high up PR at Rolls-Royce.
Right.
And he said, "It's a bargain, Johnny. It's an absolute bargain." I said, "Yeah, it's a bargain."
Oh, not this one?
Yeah.
The one with
the poo under a bag of poo under the back seat with the fridge magnet of Dale Winton's face on it.